everyone, it's Amanda. Today I'm going to be doing a holiday romance recommendation video with a twist. So I'm going to be doing naughty versus nice, which is just a way of saying cutesy romances versus dark romances. I found some really good holiday dark romances, so I'm excited to share those with you. But if you're only here for the cutesy ones, I'll leave timestamps down below of when the dark ones start, when the cutesy ones end, that sort of thing. They either are set during the holidays, they have snowy festivities, or they just have some unique candy cane icicle smut. So we're gonna start with the nice list. So the first one is completely clean, and this one's Merry Little Hate Notes. I rated this one 4 stars, and it's a brother's best friend, second chance romance. Kind of has an office theme because they do work together. We follow Holly and Brandon, and they had a falling out when they were teenagers, mainly because Brandon lied and said that their kiss wasn't real. So back up, Holly's 16 and she has never been kissed before. She ends up having her first kiss be this guy she's had a crush on, her brother's best friend. And then he tells her, or he tells everyone else, that it was a dare, and then she finds out and she's kind of heartbroken. Well, not kind of, she's heartbroken, and she ends up hating him, and she's hated him to this day. So it is based on miscommunication. So if you don't like miscommunication trope, you might not like this one because it is based on that. Holly does not like him still because of that, and she just feels kind of rejected and humiliated from that instance. But now they're much older and a lot of things have happened over the course of the years. Her brother had passed away in a ski accident, and they never got to grieve that together. Holly was always somebody who loves the holidays, and ever since her brother died, she has shut down during the holidays, and so Brandon is trying to bring her spark back and make new memories on top of those that she already has. Holly also has a complicated relationship with her mother. She had always wanted to be a lawyer just like her mom, and at this point she gave up that dream after events that took place when she was a teenager after her brother died. And you get to learn kind of what happened and why she doesn't really look up to her mom the same way anymore, and she doesn't want to follow that dream even though it really is what she wants to do. I really liked that grieving aspect of the book because it gave the characters more depth while also being a fun rom-com. Like, there's a lot of fun things about this book while also having a deeper meaning, which I always love. There's fun sticky notes in the beginning where they're like bantering back and forth and having these little puns for Christmas, so that's really fun. And there's some office snark, office competitions, Christmas tree shopping. So this one's a great option if you like holiday movies and you want something like that. I think you'll really like this one. Next up, we have a hockey romance, and this one ended up really surprising me. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. I don't know why, because I love hockey romance. I don't know, I was just expecting like a fun time, but I wasn't expecting to absolutely love it. This was Oh Goalie Nights, and we follow Beth and Foster. It's another brother's best friend romance, and it's a roommate's forced proximity. Yes, Beth is going to be a teacher in her brother's hockey town, so she's moving near her brother, which is really exciting, but she's also kind of nervous because she's used to having her sisters around and her mom and dad. She ends up calling him to pick her up from the airport, but unfortunately he can't make it because he has this new girlfriend that's really annoying. So he sends his best friend Foster to pick her up. When she gets to her rental, it ends up being a scam. So she has no housing, nothing. So Foster ends up offering for her to stay with him. He's a super good guy, and Beth knows this, so she ends up agreeing. And her brother is super thankful and is like, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing. Thank you for taking care of my sister. He wants her to stay there. He really enjoys having her around. She's usually very reserved and doesn't let a lot of people in, but they end up forming a really great connection. And it's just so cute. He teaches her how to ice skate. He is always worried about her. He loans her his car, and he's always checking up on her, not the car, and like she always thinks it's about the car, but it's actually about her. It's just so cute. Actually, in this one we also have family dynamics that lead to more depth of the characters. So Foster had lost his parents and his brother as well because his brother had fallen into alcoholism, and they ended up going no contact. And so it's been 10 years since he's contacted his brother, and he's just pretty alone and doesn't trust people very easily. And then Beth has a great bigger family, but she always is in the shadow of her NHL or like pro hockey brother. She ends up having to confront her parents about that and say like, hey, you know, my opinion matters too. You know, it all comes up, and it's a really great story. I really like this one. If you like hockey romance, you're gonna freaking love this book. It has really good spice, but not too much where it's like overkill or that it's like erotica at that point. And there's no third act breakup. The next one I have Physically, and it's, dare I say, the best holiday romance, a perfect holiday romance. It's so good, so fun, so cringy, so rom-com, so punny, lots of banter and comedy, and that is Meghan Quinn's How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. I know you've probably seen this one around. It is pretty popular right now, but it's worth the read. It's worth all of the pages as well. I loved every single second of it. The only thing is, you have to like Meghan Quinn. You have to like her writing style and her humor. But for me, that's perfect during the holidays. I wanted something like a Netflix cringy ass movie. We had candy cane smut. We had a massive festive competition in this book as well. And it had eggnog recipes, lip singing, which was hilarious, Christmas light decoration contest, just a bunch of fun little trials and contests. So that was the best part of this book. I loved the little games, but also the banter of these two characters. We follow Story and Cole. This is a second chance-ish romance, and it's fake dating as well. Enemies to lovers. So all the things that I love a fake dating moment. I don't know, every time I just eat that shit up. Story and her sister had always visited her aunt in this Christmas town called Kringletown. That is our setting, and this year her aunt is sick, so her and her sister are going to take care of her, and the aunt ends up asking if Story will participate on her behalf in this Christmas competition that's really important to the town. So she ends up getting into this competition, and Cole finds out that she's in town, and he's livid, okay, because of things that have happened in the past. He is the Grinch of this town, okay? It's a Grinch retelling of sorts. So he ends up also signing up for the competition, and he wants to take her out so bad. I think it's the perfect holiday romance. I know some people think it was too much on the holiday side, like too Christmassy, but I just disagree. I think I need the most Christmas sprinkled into my Grinch romance. So definitely check that one out if you were on the fence about it and you're in need of some comedic relief. The banter was so good, and the smut was really hot. On to our last one in the nice category, and that is my favorite holiday. This one was really long, just like this one, but in this case I felt like it was a little bit too long, so it didn't get a full 5 stars from me, but I rated this one 4.5. I really loved it. It had a lot of holiday themed smut, so if you're looking for that. We also have single dad, boss employee, fake dating, and billionaire, and he loves taking care of her. So if you love a billionaire romance where he's like acts of service type guy, check. This one also has that movie like quality rom-com vibe. We follow Wilder and Fable. Fable is cheated on in the beginning of the book with her current boyfriend. She's at her engagement party, the surprise engagement of her sister. So when she finds her boyfriend and some lady at the party going to town, she ends up having to hide it because she's not going to ruin her sister's engagement party. So Wilder finds out, and they strike up this deal to be each other's dates to the wedding because of the humiliation, and she just wants to, you know, fix that. And he wants to get his aunt off his back because everyone's trying to set him up, everyone's trying to play matchmaker in his life, and he's like over it. He's also kind of obsessed with Fable, so it works out in his favor. We have games in this one as well because the bride and groom have set up like a cabin getaway where they're gonna play like snowball fighting and gingerbread house making. So it's very similar to the rest of these in that way. I feel like there were a lot of ones with games in them, but it's not the central part of the story or the plot line. I would say the main story is just this fake dating thing going on, and then the wedding. They're trying to fool their family members. So it's really fun. We also have a single dad trope. I forgot if I mentioned that. We have his daughter Mac, and she's in on it, and she really wants their romance to be real. But yeah, if you want a man that's absolutely obsessed with the female main character and also her ride or die, he stands up for her against this horrible guy that cheated on her. He puts him in his place, spoils her with so many things. So for this one, I would say if you love fake dating, this one's a great option. That's why I ended up loving it so much. I just love the fake dating trope. And I haven't read one in a while too. I think that also helped. I know they can be a little bit oversaturated this time of year. All right, now we're on to the naughty list. Okay, so if you don't like dark romance, go ahead and pop off of this section, but thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you enjoy something off the nice list. So the first one is my favorite one out of the whole dark bunch, and that is The Wrong Drive. This one is an isolated setting, very snowy, stranded, kind of kidnapped. We follow Emerson and Turner. Emerson is on the way to go to this getaway with her current boyfriend, and she finds out on the way there that this whole time she was driving, it's Colorado by the way, this whole time she's driving, he was gonna break up with her at this getaway anyway. So she's really kind of distraught. She's like, what the hell? Like, why am I driving all the way here when our relationship is already on the outs? They had been fighting. So she ends up getting lost. She calls her current boyfriend and it's like freaking out, like, you didn't give me directions, what's going on? The boyfriend's kind of gaslighting her, like, you know, you just fucking follow the directions. And she's getting pissed. So anyway, she ends up turning into this fence that she thought that her boyfriend had mentioned, because he said follow the black fence and turn. So she unlocks the black fence, goes in. She ends up trespassing on this guy's property. And it's none other than Turner, who has been isolating himself for years in this cabin because he is scared to hurt people and he kills anyone who comes on his property. So what is going to happen to this girl is the question. Well, you'll have to find out for yourself. You get to find out secrets throughout. There's some things to uncover about what's going on. Turner is also an ex-Marine and he has been dealing with PTSD all this time. He tried to get help for it. He just felt like a lost cause, so he secluded himself in these mountains at this property, and he doesn't really go out much. So when he comes across Emerson, he's kind of shook, and that's all we'll say. Check that one out. I was very surprised by it because I usually, you know, I'm just scrolling through Amazon trying to find the most fucked up shit that I can. Lo and behold, there's this gem of a book in here. It's actually one of my favorite dark romances that I've read this year, despite being like a holiday theme. Usually those, you know, I read during the holidays, and they're just kind of like on theme. But I really like this one like by itself, even not the holidays, because it doesn't have like the same Christmassy energy where you could only read it during December. You could definitely read this one in just like the winter time in general. The last two on the naughty list are horror erotica novellas. So keep that in mind. They are a little bit more unhinged / have more triggers / taboo, you know, all the things. But the first one is called Slay All the Way by Novocaine. If you've read Novocaine in the past, you may know this character. We're following Johnny, and he is our masked Santa. Let's just say I can't look at icicles or lockets the same after reading this book. He is stalking Alaska, who is on this getaway with her current boyfriend. Again, piece of shit. He is cheating on her. He's always on his phone. He's detached. She ends up finding out he's cheating on her, and he's just horrible. But don't worry, because Santa Killer is on the way and he is obsessed with you. So don't worry, you'll be getting everything you need for Christmas. Oh, it was so fun. It was kind of crazy though. Honestly, while I was reading it, I was like, like what is happening? I want to read more from whatever this series is. I haven't read Novocaine before, but I'm going to look into, you know, where this is going, because at the end of this novella, something happens and then there's like a to be continued type situation. and I want to know what happens next. Next up is Touchdowns and Tinsel. This one is the most taboo out of the bunch. It is stepmom with a football team, and it's Why Choose. It's like a one night only. They end up kidnapping her, and one of them is the stepson, and it's just such a fun time. It was another short novella, so I don't know what else to say except that it was spicy and hot, and icicles were a thing again. I'm like, damn, I think this was like a theme of 2024. Hopefully you find something out of this list worth checking out. All of these I rated 4 stars or above, so I sign off on all these recs depending on your taste. Please don't read the dark romances if you're not into dark romance. Read with caution, okay? But I thought I would end off this video with the 4 remaining on my TBR. I don't know if I'll get to them this year. I'm hoping that I will, but I don't know yet because I just picked up some books from Barnes & Noble that I really want to read that are new releases. So I kind of put the holiday romances on pause. My remaining TBR is Make the Season Bright, which is a female-female romance. Sorry, I don't know much about the plots, but just general what I'm looking out for. I'm going to be reading that one. I also want to read The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is a male-male romance, and I also own that one. I own both of those ones. And then as for the horror / dark ones left on my list, I just have 2. One of them's Santa's Hit List. This one just looks crazy, and I feel like it'd be fun. It's a novella. It's a reindeer shifter smut horror. And then lastly we have Slang for Sloan, which I think has primal play / games, some chasing, some crazy stuff happening. It's another one with horror aspects. So those are the ones on my radar. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, subscribe down below for more bookish content from me. I'd love to have you here, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.